Right, this video is so well overdue. If you remember quite a while back, I don't know if you've already seen this, but I created a video telling you or showing you guys how to create a limited company on the government website. So I went through exactly the process you need to go to in order to create the limited company. That way you didn't have to pay someone to do this for you. I got a lot of great feedback from it because it was super helpful for a lot of people. But the government changed their website and they changed their processes. Also, I realized I've got quite a few questions on that video. So I thought what I'm going to do is redo the video, but redo it in a way that some of the questions that were coming up, I have solutions for you. Unfortunately, the government website allows you to go through the process, but doesn't deal with certain areas that kept coming up in the questions. For example, if you're non-resident, if you don't want to use your home address, etc., etc. The funny thing is I've been intending to do this video for about the last year and a half. I know, better late than never. I know a lot of you guys ask me to do certain videos. I'll be honest with you, I do intend to do them. Sometimes I forget, so just in case I forget, drop a little comment in the comment box just to give me a little reminder. The actual reason why I didn't redo this video already is because I needed to be able to create a video that incorporates the answers to the questions with solutions. Like a shining ray of light from nowhere, an email popped in my inbox from a company called First Formations. Now, I'd heard about this company before, but I just assumed they were a company that you paid to go and set up a company for you. For me, that's not a good enough service. However, when I looked into them and I spoke to them, I realized they do a lot more. And in fact, they answered a hell of a lot of the questions that you guys have been asking me. Now, those of you who followed me for all the time that you have in all the years that I've been on YouTube, you'll notice that I've never collaborated with any company. But what you don't actually know is I get contacted by companies all the time to collaborate. However, I haven't collaborated with any company purely because of the fact that there are certain criteria that I want. They have to be a company that I would use myself, and they have to be a company that is of value to my audience. And I gauge that by the questions that you guys ask me, which is why it's always good to send me questions so I can look at what you are asking and see if there's solutions out there for it. What I liked about this particular company is they followed my channel for a while before they approached me, so they could have an understanding as to what I am like. So they understand that I'm a person who's going to say things as it is. If I like something, I will tell you. If I don't like something, I will say that I don't like it. Simple as that. So they understand that I'm very straight in the way that I talk and the way that I do my videos. Why was it important that they followed me for a while and fully understood what I am like on my channel and what I'm like as a person? Is because I'd get random companies. Like I said to you, a lot of people contacted me. Loan companies, so many of them contact me. So they don't understand my channel. So they really believe that I am going to promote borrowing to my audience. I'm going to encourage them to get into debt. Like I said to you all before, what is important to me is to provide something that makes a difference to a person's life positively. Most of you already know what I'm like, so I don't really need to tell you. Now, what I managed to do with this company as well is to get a discount for all the viewers of this video if you want to go ahead and use any of their services on one of the packages. Now, I have a link in the description box. If you want to go for this particular package, you click the link and you get the extra discount. If you don't want to go for that package, there's another link that you can click and you can choose a different package. As this is a long video, what I've also done is I've put timestamps in the comment section so you can click to the particular section that you want to go and see, just to make it easier for you. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get on to the video. So here we are on First Formation's website. Now, what I want to try and do is, as I'm going through each part, I want to try and give you an explanation of what certain things mean, where it's applicable. You'll see from this site that they explain most of the things already, so it's going to make things pretty easy. So let's start here. On the first page, you can immediately check to see if the company that you are looking to set up, if the name is available. So for example, let's see if Barclays is available. Barclays Limited. What a surprise, it's not available. So it automatically checks if the company is available before you waste your time trying to go ahead. So this is where I'll start. Just check if the company name that you're looking for is available. So in fact, let me try and type in a company, made up company name. Let's search. So you can see that this company name is available. So once you have that and you know your company is available, what you should do is you should save and continue. And what it will do is it will take you to another page. Now this is a page which is really useful purely because of the fact that you're looking for your package, but you're going to start understanding what certain parts of the business mean. You'll start to see what I mean when we start scrolling down. So the basic package for first formations is called a digital package. Now the digital package is $12.99, but you're going to actually see that the vast majority of that $12.99 actually goes directly to Companies House. So let's go through what you actually get in the package. A private limited company buy shares. So you'd get that normally if you went through Companies House. So what they'll do is they'll get that formed within 3 to 6 hours. As it says here, if you want it guaranteed same day service, then you can pay a bit extra. However, I'll be really surprised if you need to have a guaranteed same day service. It's got to be something exceptional. Now the next part is a Companies House £12 filing fee. Now this is a fee that you'd normally pay if you were to go ahead and set up a company directly onto Companies House website. Now you might be asking yourself what I asked, First Formations, why don't I just go to Companies House, set it up and save myself 99p? And what they explained to me is when you are going through this process, what they try to do is provide a service where they help you. So if you see in the corner here, there's a chat with us. During the process of you setting up your company, you can ask them any question at any time. I'm going to give an example in a minute. When I find a question that's worth asking, I'll use the chat service to see how quickly they respond. Next is a free business bank account. This is optional. You don't have to use them in order to set up your own business bank account. You might already be banking with someone, so you might just want to set up your business bank account with the particular bank that you're dealing with. However, if you don't want to do it, what they have set up for you, if you have a look here, I can't actually move the mouse because if I move the mouse, it will come off and you won't be able to read it. So what they're saying here is if you complete a simple online application form for the bank that you've chosen that they've listed below, what will happen is they will send it directly to the bank as part of the whole order that you're doing. So you're going to get your paperwork sent to Companies House and the application form from a bank account sent over to whichever bank that you picked. So those of you who've asked me who should you bank with or you're not sure who to bank with, there's a whole list here that they recommend and they can have this done for you. The next one is the free online company manager. This is quite good. Now, when you're setting up a company, a lot of people that I'm speaking to don't fully understand how a limited company process works. There's certain things that you need to do on certain days, and if you miss them, you end up incurring fines. And when you have a business, the government love a fine. But what you don't want to be doing is incurring loads of fines or putting yourself in a position where your company is at risk. So what this free online company manager system does is it sends you things like email reminders of key filing dates so you don't miss the dates. You can make changes to your company officer details, addresses, change account dates, file confirmation statements online. These are all things that you start to understand as you start to understand what it means to have a limited company. You can form new companies without having to re-enter the same information each time. So when you have to set up a new company, when you do it on Companies House, you've got to put all your details again, but they'll have it stored and so you can seamlessly set up a new company if you want to. You can import existing companies, you can view and download your company documents easily, view and download your official government and business mail, purchase additional products, manage your payment cards, renew your annual subscription, etc. So this is quite useful because especially for me is the reminders for the filing dates. This kind of thing is really important. So I like that part. That was an area that for me, I thought that's going to be useful for someone who's not sure how to run a business, but set up a limited company. It will help prompt them to do certain things at certain times. Next one, and people forget about this. Do you know the amount of people I've seen who've gone ahead and set up a business and have not gone to look for the domain name first? So they end up having to create a domain name that is as close to the business as possible, but is not 100% right. For me, I prefer to have my business name as a domain name, and I like to take the .com and the .co.uk. And what they'll do is they'll register your domain name already for you. You can do whatever you want with it once it's registered, i.e. if you want to change it to a different hosting provider, you can go ahead and do that. But the main thing is it's already, let me move this up, it's already there registered for you as part of your process. So you're just ticking off little boxes as you're going along, setting up your business, which is great. As you can see, the chat pops up here just to ask me if I need any help. I'm not going to do anything about the chat yet because I'm going to do it later. You get all copies of your important documentation emailed across to you. So your certificate of incorporation that shows that your business is incorporated. The memorandum and articles of association. This basically shows the names of the people that were at the founding point of the company, like for example, the initial shareholders, etc. The articles are similar to rules of the business, of how the business is going to be governed. Share certificates in terms of how the shares are distributed, the minutes of the first board meeting, web filing authentication code. Now, the web filing authentication code is really important for you to make sure you hang on to, and it's good that they send it to you now because you need this for when you want to file certain things on Companies House. So accounts, changes, all this kind of stuff. So it's really important that you hang on to that. So that is a basic package, the digital package. So you see what happens and what you get based on paying the extra 99p. In my opinion, I think that's very, very reasonable, purely because of the fact that if you're a person who's not sure, you are able to tick things off, you're able to speak to someone. Also, let me mention at this point, you can call them up and actually go through this process of setting up your company as well. You don't have to do it online, but I'm showing you online because it's pretty simple the way they set it up. Now let's move on to their next package, which is a privacy package. So I'm going to show you the difference between a privacy package and the digital package, which is $19.99. Now, you get everything in the digital package, but let's see what's extra. An email copy of the company register with first entries. So you get a digital version of your company's statutory register, including completed initial entries from the date of your company registration. The documents included are share certificates, register of directors, register of PSCs, persons of significant control, register of members and share ledger, register of applications and allotments, register of transfers, mortgages and charges, debentures, sealings or executions. All these important informations, the first entries into your business. I'm not going to go through everything because I don't want to overload you with information, and not all of it is going to be relevant to someone setting up a new little business. Now the next one, this is where I've had so many questions from so many people. It's about the registered office and the service address. Now, what you can do with this company is you can register your registered office at their address. So if you look here, I'm going to go through it really briefly. For 12 months, you get use of their address as your registered office. Like I said, so many of you have been sending me messages about not wanting to use certain addresses. You have it here. Do note that after the first 12 months, if you want to renew, it is £39 plus VAT. The registered address, let me explain a bit more about the registered office address. This is public. So this is where people were concerned about having this address put in a public domain. You will find that this is where a lot of the government bodies will send letters to, official letters to, like Companies House, HMRC. You'll get Government Gateway, Department of Work and Pensions, etc., etc. So this is an important address that you actually have to have. You'd have to include a registered office address. Now the next one is a service address. This is another one that you need. This address is the personal address for shareholders who are PSCs, company directors, company secretaries. This is their personal address. What I mean by that is anything personal that needs to be sent from government bodies will be sent to this address. So usually what people may do is use their home address as the address for a service address. However, this is on public record. So I wouldn't encourage you having your personal home address on public record. That's my opinion. However, some people have no issues having their personal address in the public domain. But just understand that people will be able to know where you live. Customers, suppliers, anyone will be able to know where you live. So some people might take it upon themselves to just turn up at your house, which can be a good thing or a bad thing depending on why they're there. This address is actually used for government bodies mainly. They will use this address to send official documentation personally to the shareholders, directors, secretaries, etc. Now, again, 12 months is included in this 1999 plan. However, when you want to renew, it is £26 plus VAT. So do be aware of that. What you want to do is you want to look at the services that you're using, which ones you like, and then you can decide in year 2 which ones you want to keep. And if you think the service is great, then you may end up keeping everything. But if you are working from home and you don't have an office or you don't have an alternative address, you may find that you want to keep hold of the service address and the registered office address. So that is the difference between the digital plan and a privacy plan. Also, that is the explanation of what everything means up till now. Now this one is a professional, which is $44.99. So let's have a look to see what the difference is between that and the previous packages. The first thing you get is the filing of the first confirmation statement. This is what I like about this site. It explains pretty much everything. So if you're a person who has no idea what the first confirmation statement is, as soon as you click on the I, it will show you. The filing of the first confirmation statement, if you haven't already read it off my screen, is a snapshot, perfect description that they put here of the company details, i.e. details of the company's business activities, directors, registered office, share capital, persons of significant control. So it gives a real snapshot of what the business is doing. Now, understand that there is a fee of £13. This fee is not charged by First Formations. It is actually Companies House who charge this fee. This is how they make so much money. Pretty much everything that you need to file with Companies House, you have to pay a fee for it. So First Formations will take the fee and go ahead and file this for you on your behalf. Now this service is renewable each year. So if you weren't using First Formations, then probably your accountant will do it, or you may feel that you want to try and file it yourself, but you'll always have a fee of £13. In fact, this is a good time to ask a question. Let's find out how much it costs to file confirmation statements. So let's ask this question because it's quite good to see how quickly they respond as well. I want to do this real time, so just to demonstrate. Okay, we've got someone here. That's quick, perfect. That's excellent. In my opinion, that was pretty quick. So let's close that down. So it's $34.99 plus VAT for them to file the confirmation statement each year if you wanted to renew it. So that's a filing of the confirmation statement explained, and it's $34.99 if you want them to do it for the second year. Now, call answering service. This is good if you're a person who gets a lot of calls and you're not in a position to take the calls yourself. As you can see here, you'll get 2 dedicated receptionists who will be assigned to your company to answer calls. Now, I've already found out that the working hours that they will answer calls is 8:30 to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. During the weekend or out of hours, they will have a messaging service that will take your call and then forward it to you. Like I said, this depends on whether your business requires this kind of service or whether you can just take calls yourself. Some people need this, other people don't need this at all. Also, if you don't want it to go to voicemail, they have a call forwarding service, meaning that when it is out of hours or weekends, if someone calls your number, which by the way, they'll give you a London number as well. So if someone calls your number, the call will automatically be forwarded to whichever phone that you want it forwarded to. However, do understand that you will have to pay for the cost of a call. So bear that in mind. Now, you get 1 month free of this, so you can see how it is. And then each month it's automatically renewed at $29.99 plus VAT per month. So it's something for you to decide whether you really need it or you don't need it. If you do need it, the service is there. Printed certificate of incorporation and share certificates can be useful to have, but for me, it's not really that mandatory. If you have it on email, for me, that's absolutely fine enough. Printed memorandum and articles of association. This is nice if you have it printed and bound. I remember when I got my first memorandum articles printed and bound, it is nice to have. And it is actually something that if your company grows large, then it might be really important for you to have a hard copy of this. So that's the difference between the professional and the other two. Now, the one that I like the most, let me see if I can shut this down. I actually don't like the way that this pops up. This is something I'm going to feed back to them because it gets in the way of the site. Anyway, let's move on. The Prestige package. This is a package that I liked out of all the packages. And this is a package that I thought, let me see if I can get an extra discount on from First Formations to you viewers, because I think it's the most complete package if you want everything covered, absolutely everything, and you just want to start a business and pretty much just get going, knowing that you are in a position to not worry about that you've missed certain things or certain things need to be covered or you've got to think of certain things. This for me is the most complete package. So what's the difference? An additional. This is big for me. The legal contracts and notices package. Now, when you have a business, it's going to be very unlikely that you don't require some sort of legal paperwork, whether it's like it says here, sales and service contracts, employment contracts, health and safety, even the website notices, privacy policy, cookie policy, terms of use. People don't understand that when you have a website and you're trying to do business on this website, that you are required to have a privacy policy. If you're tracking cookie policy, terms of use, all of these kind of things are really important. They've even got COVID-19 documentation, furlough letters, health and safety letters for home working, and a lot more. So for me, this is why I thought the Prestige package was probably the best out of the lot in order to get someone properly up and running, them being protected, everything covered, and they don't have to stress or worry about anything. This area is mega important. Do you know the amount of people I know who do sales or provide services and don't have a proper contract in place? And when it comes to being paid, they have an issue. So having a whole resource area to download and easily utilize different contracts, like I said, the website stuff and everything, to me is mega important. Unless you have other ways of obtaining this information, or you're going to employ a solicitor or whatever way that you want to do it, just make sure that you have this. That's why I really liked this particular package. Also, they have a business address service. This is basically the address that you'll broadcast that you are conducting your business out of. You will need to have a business address. Your business address can be exactly the same as a registered office, by the way. So on this package, they will give you a business address. Now, understand that it's included for the first 12 months, but if you want to have the business address the next year, it is £96 plus VAT. This is great for people who have emailed me and contacted me who are based abroad or non-resident and people who are working from home. Again, do you really want people turning up at your house? You may do, you may not do. Also, just to add to this, they will forward any mail that comes to that address to you. As they put here, all mail forwarded is charged at Royal Mail postal rates plus 15%. I forgot to mention as well on the other addresses, any documentation or letters, etc., they will scan and email it over to you free of charge, which is really quite good. And this is done on a daily basis. Again, with the business address, when they forward the mail to you, it is also on a daily basis. And finally on this plan, VAT registration. Now, VAT registration will probably not be applicable for the majority of you. However, if you're expecting a turnover of over £85,000 in the next 12 months, number one, brilliant. Number two, you will need to be registered for VAT. The good thing about this service is you can register for VAT at any time. As it clearly says here, use it as any time. Now, obviously with VAT, there are reasons why you could register for VAT without exceeding over 85,000. Some companies will not deal with you unless you're registered for VAT because they want to be able to claim their VAT back. Also, if you know that you being registered for VAT is financially beneficial to you based on the VAT that you claim back on your goods and service, then you might want to voluntarily register for VAT. As it says here, some people might register for VAT to make their company look bigger than what they actually are. It's up to you. Me, I wouldn't register for VAT based on that. If it's financially beneficial for you to be VAT registered, that's a good reason. Secondly, if the customers that you want to deal with need you to be VAT registered, then you may have to go ahead and do it. Again, what I like about here is they explain all of this here. At the bottom, they show you the process of how to register for VAT. They will do it for you. You just have to fill out a questionnaire. So I like this plan. This plan is the most complete plan. Now, the next plan is the all-inclusive, which is £139.99. So let's quickly have a look to see what the difference is. PAYE, again, they explain PAYE and why you require PAYE. If you're paying yourself a salary as a director or you've got employees, you need to legally be registered for PAYE. What they will do is they will help you with this. So they'll give you a questionnaire, so you give out the details, then they'll apply for the PAYE registration online for you. So if you know you're going to be paying out salaries to yourself or other people and you know you're going to need a PAYE scheme, then this particular service is probably better for you because it means you don't have to worry about finding an accountant, getting them to do it for you, going through the process or whatever. It will just get done for you. They also tell you how long the process takes and when you should apply for it as well. Also, GDPR compliance package. What they will do is they'll provide you with guidance and templates for you to make sure that your company is compliant. Obviously, you already know it's a big thing. Now, this particular service, I hope that you never have to use within this 12-month period. This is a service where they will help you close your company down, putting it as plainly as that. They'll help strike your company off your register. But I hope your businesses are mega successful, so you don't even need to use this. It says the product expires after 12 months. You want it to expire and not to use that. Now, company secretary. They have a full company secretary service, which they will appoint a company secretary, which is of the name of First Secretaries Limited. You don't have to have a company secretary, just so you know that. But if you wanted one, then if you didn't have someone that you knew that you wanted to put as a company secretary, you can use these guys. Also, they actually play the role of a company secretary. So they help you with preparation, maintenance, storage of registers. They help you with changes to your company. They help you with preparation and filing of your annual confirmation statement, including Companies House. Again, like I said, £13 fee is paid to Companies House. So they give you a lot of help with certain areas of running your company, because the person who's going to be helping you is a qualified company secretary or a legal executive. So they'll also be there to answer your questions and process any instructions you give them. Also understand, certain things on here are renewable on an annual basis. So bear in mind that it's included in the package for the first year, but you have to pay separately on the second year and on and on. So year one is your year to decide what you actually want to use, what is useful and what is not. Anything that is no use to you, make sure you make it clear that you do not want to renew it. Let me move on to the non-residents. I have had so many of you contact me about being non-resident. So I'm going to go through this, the main features that I haven't discussed already. So let's have a look. Private company limited by shares. I've already discussed that. Now, biggest area is when it comes to a business bank account. So you want a UK business bank account. These guys are partnered with someone called TransferWise, which they can set that up for you. As you can see here, you can create an account in minutes and get access to the following bank details to receive money for free and hold money in over 40 currencies, all with zero fees. British account number and sort code, European IBAN, US account number and routing number, Australian account number and BSB code. So they will set you up in order for you to be able to collect different currencies from across the world, even though you're non-resident in this country. As you can see here, there is a fixed one-time fee, which ranges from 16 to 21 pounds. Mega useful for someone who is a non-resident and wants to set up a business fully here. I'm going to go through the rest of the service that they have. We've already gone through the Companies House filing fee. We've gone through all of this already. So I'm going to have a look at other areas. Here we go. You printed certificate of incorporation and memorandum articles and share certificates. They will send this to you internationally as part of the service. So wherever you are in the world, they'll post it out to you. A London registered office. You are going to need the service office because you're not in the UK. And again, it shows the price that you have to pay on renewal. I've already discussed that. They will also forward you the mail as part of the service as well. This is where they introduce you to a chartered accountant, so you can have an accountant in the UK. You can utilize their referral or you can choose your own, entirely up to you. As they put in the bottom, they said you should negotiate your fees with their recommendation. They'll give you an ultimate guide to starting your business, legal contracts, notices package, and free international business track delivery service. So for someone who is non-resident, this package or even the prestige package you can use, depending on whether you want certain documents posted to you internationally or not, or whether you're happy to have them emailed to you. I'm not going to go through the other two options because I'm going to keep it a little bit simple. So if we go back now to the limited company, let's say I pick the prestige package. Now, once we get to this page, you can see that there are certain things that you can add. Introduction to an accountant, you can add that, that's free. All these other options that are not available in the current selected package, you can add them as a separate thing if you want yourself. Also here, they have a pre-submission review where they check if there are any mistakes on your documentation before sending it across to Companies House. This is $4.99. Remember, this prestige package here will be $62.99 on my link, so you can ignore that price. This might be something you want or maybe you don't want. It depends on how confident you are with all the information that you put in. However, I think they give enough information as to what you should do and how you should do it, so you probably may not need this. But again, I don't want to speak for everyone. So I'm going to remove this here. And then you agree to the terms and conditions and you go to checkout. Oh, let me go back for a second. They have a money back guarantee. If you pay for your order and then decide you don't want to proceed, they will return your money back in full in accordance with their terms and conditions. So have a look at the terms and conditions before you go ahead. So what you have to do is you have to pay now before you go ahead and start filling in the details. So I'm going to fill in all details here, and then I'm going to move to the next section. Okay, so that's all paid for. So let's move on to setting up the business. As you can see, the company is going to be limited by shares. It's going to be in England and Wales. Now, SIC code. This is where people get confused as to what category their business is. So let's pretend that I have no idea which category to put my business. What I would do here is I'll ask. So, hi, I am not sure which category property training, let's try that, would into. Can you please advise? While that's going on, let's continue. I'll let that run in the background and we'll pick a category. Let's say professional, scientific and technical services. What they will do is they'll also give you a subsection. So there's a drop down here, which is quite good. Is your business a law firm? So you might want to click solicitor. You might want to click barrister at law. So you can select the different SIC codes here. Oh, now someone's popped up. So let's see how quickly they'll answer. This probably took about 3 or 4 minutes. Again, let's carry on and wait for an answer. As you can see, someone called Stefan popped up. So let's pick solicitor and barrister at law. That's the SIC code. So let's move on. So here it gives you a warning. It says, OIE 2 is available for registration. You will need to provide a valid company ending, i.e. limited, CYF, etc. Hold on, let's go back to the chat. Let's see what Stefan has to say. I will choose LTD and save and continue. Registered office required. This is where I can choose my registered office. As you can see, it's included in this package. Have a look. It says, hi Oye, I believe we spoke a few days ago. So I'm going to go, hi Stefan, we did. So this is a genuine person who is speaking to me. The person remembers the fact that we spoke before. Yes, I am. But could you please advise as to what SIC code I should use for property training? By the way, never pay for property training. If you've seen my video, I'll put the link in the description box below why you should never pay for it. Now, while I'm waiting for a response from Stefan, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose a forwarding address. As part of my package, remember that I get the registered office address and I also get the service address. So by default, obviously it's blurred here. My default address, which was my billing address, is here, which I can select, or I can add a new address. Hold on, let me have a look at what Stefan is saying. Okay, he's just going to go and check that for me. Right, so I can enter a new address, which I'm going to do here now. It has the address search function, so you can type in a postcode and then try and search for an address that's relevant for you. So this will be my forwarding address. So I'm going to select an address now. Okay, so Stefan has asked me a question. Let me just reply back. Okay, back to what I was doing. So I've just selected a forwarding address now. So I'm going to save and continue. My forwarding address has now appeared and I'm going to save and continue. Right, now I have to create a forwarding address for my business address. Remember, the business address is part of this package as well. So I have that included. So I'm just going to go ahead and select a forwarding address for the business address. And I'm going to save and continue. Now we're on to the next part. Now this part is where I start to add directors, PSCs, shareholders, and different officers of the company. So basically, as you can see here, you can have a person as being one of the officers of the company or the shareholders of the PSCs, or you can even have a company as being one of the officers or shareholders or PSCs of the company. So you have the option. Some people don't actually know that you can also have a company as one of the officers of your business. So that is an option. If that's something that's applicable for your business, then you click the corporate button. In my case, I'm going to pick the persons button because it's me who's going to be the director and the shareholder of this company. Oh, at the same time, Stefan is coming back to me. So he's given me a likely match for the type of business that I'm doing. So he's given me the SIC code of 85590. So I'm just going to say thanks to him and carry on with the video. So as I said to you before, I'm going to be the director and the shareholder of this company. So I'm going to click next. Now it's actually popped up with a little warning just to make sure that whoever I'm putting as the officer has given their consent for them to be appointed on this company, because before people used to just put other people's names even when they didn't consent. So you have to make sure whoever is the officer of the company has consented. Now I'm going to fill in my details here, and I have to fill in authentication questions as well, which is basically I've got to choose whether it's mother's maiden name, father's name, town of birth, etc., etc. So I'm going to do this and move on. So I've gone ahead and added my details and saved them. If I want to add another officer, again, I can go ahead and add another officer. So you can add as many officers as required by your business. Now the next part is the service address. You should remember that the service address is part of this particular package, the Prestige package. All I need to do again is choose a forwarding address for them to forward over any letters if required. Remember, they can also email letters over to you completely free of charge. Now I've finished with the service address area, I then move on to the shares. So this is the part where you decide how the shares are distributed. In my particular case, it's only me. So you have to decide how much you want the value of your shares to be. Usually it's £1 per share, okay? And also you have to decide the quantities of shares that you want. Now, it's important for you to understand that if your business gets into financial difficulty and ends up going into administration or liquidating, if you're a shareholder of the company, you would need to pay towards the debt the value of your shares. So for example, in this case, I'm selecting 1,000 shares. So that means if anything goes wrong with my company, then I have to pay £1,000 towards the debts. The class of shares are ordinary shares. So when you click on the eye, it will show you what type of shares that they are. And also in the particulars box, you'll find the full details of what a share grants you. So these shares carry full rights to receive notice of, attend and vote at general meetings. One share carries one vote and full rights to dividends and capital distributions, including upon winding up. So I'm just going to save and continue. Obviously, I've had to blur out certain places because it has sensitive information. Now I finished that part, it's going to go on to a part where it will ask me how I want to receive my documents. So you can choose how you receive them. After that, you have different referral options. So First Formation will give you different types of banks that they can refer you to. So you can choose to click one of them, fill in whatever forms you need to fill in, and you'll be referred. Again, on the next page, they can refer you to different types of accounting software, payment receiving options as well. And again, there's another page, like I mentioned, about the optional extras that you can pick. So if this stage you want to add anything, you can. If not, you can just move on. So finally, you get to your final page, which is the review page, where you can review all the details that you put in. Obviously, you cannot see mine, but you can review all the details to make sure they are correct. And then after that, you just hit save and continue, and you go to the final page where you can check out, and everything will be sent over to First Formations for them to process. Obviously, because I don't want to set this company up, I'm not going to be checking out at this point. Now, I really do hope that you guys have found this video beneficial. I know it's quite a long one, but I did want to make sure that I gave you guys as much detail and as much information as possible. For those of you who are new to my channel and you enjoy my content, please make sure you subscribe to my channel and also turn on the bell notification so you don't miss any of my future videos. For those of you who have followed me for all the time that you have, I actually feel like I know some of you when you always commenting on the videos. Thank you so much for your support. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Put any comments in the comment box. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next video.